I'm going to take you on a journey of exactly how to build a brand new profitable website with SEO in 2022. And this is not a bunch of hacks and tricks, it's a step-by-step sequence that makes building a successful website easy. So it will be best if you give me your attention for the entire video, because the process that the greatest SEOs in the world use follows these 7 steps. And don't worry, I'll clarify on that in a minute, and this video will walk you through all of them. But first, let me tell you a story. A few years ago, the smartest SEO I knew on the planet taught me how to build websites that generate millions with free traffic from Google. And I had this idea: what if I just scale this for hundreds of sites? And then things got crazy. And I helped over 1,000 websites like these, including my own site that makes over $140,000 per month with SEO traffic. And now you'll learn exactly what I'd do if I were creating a new successful website this year, starting from scratch. Now, most people don't know this, but 175 new websites are created every minute. 252,000 websites are created every day, and most tragically, 91% of them never get traffic from Google. So here's how you can be in the top 9% of websites. So before you even think about setting up your website, you need to plan your niche. And here's why it's the most important step. If you pick the wrong niche, you'll never rank on Google. And everything you do from this minute onwards won't work. Plus, you're making SEO 10 times harder than it needs to be. So pay close attention to these 3 red flags you need to avoid. Number 1, never go into a seasonal niche, because otherwise for 6 months of the year, you won't generate any traffic. Number 2, never work with niches you can't monetize. Better to figure that out now than 12 months too late. And number 3, if the niche is related to health or your money or your life topics, then forget it. Google doesn't want SEOs like me accidentally publishing bad advice, and rightly so. It's going to be extra hard to rank. Now, you may be asking, what actually works, Julian? Well, here's 3 easy ways to pick a profitable niche. Number 1, be very specific. Early on, I can't compete with established sites because I'm starting out from scratch with no authority. And until I follow the steps I'm about to show you, I'm just a random geezer and I can't compete with the big boys on Google. So let me ask you a question. What do you think is a better niche for SEO? A site about cats or cat food? Cat food. Why? Because it's a super specific niche, which means you can become the authority on that way quicker. And that brings me on to the second must-have quality. You need lots of low competition, easy to rank for keywords. Here's how to figure that out fast. Pull up Ahrefs, pop in the topic in the Keyword Explorer, filter by keyword difficulty, and keep going until you found lots of keywords. Bonus points if you can find 1 to 2 low authority sites, ranking on the first page for each keyword. And one final step is this: can you actually monetize it? More on this later, but just don't go into a dodgy niche with no affiliate schemes, or one that ad networks like Mediavine or Ezoic will reject. Next up, let me save you a month of unnecessary work and explain something to you. Number 2 is the setup, right? And be careful here, because designing your website is the least valuable step of the process. So don't get bogged down in logo creation or picking a fancy name for 6 months. Like the famous SEO Lil Wayne says, real G's move in silence like lasagna. And let's be honest, designing a website won't get you results, but the steps I'll show you after this will. So how long should you spend on this? 1 day maximum, no more. You just need a simple site you can post to. You're not creating the Mona Lisa here. Here's a crazy example of this, right? Sam Ovens has the world's most basic 3-page website, but it generates 7 to 8 figures yearly. And good businesses focus on simplicity. So let's talk about a few plugins to make ranking on Google easy. From day 1, I'd set up on WordPress and install these 3 plugins. Number 1, Yoast for optimizing your meta tags. Number 2, Link Whisper for managing internal links. And finally, to get your page speed to 90 in 5 minutes, I'd install NitroPack. But you won't get any results until you hit publish. So here's what you need to know about content creation. An insane 42% of women and 35% of men feel burned out often or almost always. And that explains why there are 2 billion websites, but less than 400 million are actually active. Because creative burnout is brutal. Sure, writing articles is fun for about a day, and then it gets extremely boring. So that's why I'd hire a full-time writer. But don't make this mistake. You can't just hire any writer. No. You want someone with experience and someone who already understands your industry. For example, if you have a pets website, hire a vet. Why? Because you want to feel the love in the content. As a wise man once told me, your content is your business. And this is why I still haven't outsourced my YouTube scripts. because you need some VAVAVOOM in there. Now, when it comes to hiring, you must understand this concept. It does not matter how fast you row if you're rowing in the wrong direction. So here's how to easily solve that. Agree a 90-day performance KPI with your writer. This is how I've scaled my agency to 7 figures with a team of 50 people already. You need everyone in your team singing off the same hymn sheet. My personal favorite is Kumbaya. And don't base your KPI on how much content your writer produces. No one really cares about that. It's a vanity metric, right? Instead, give them a target for SEO traffic and access to server SEO and Ahrefs. So if they win, you win. And then all you need to do is get your first 50 articles published ASAP Rocky. Now, 70% of your content should be informational, 30% should be commercial, and I'll come on to how to easily rank these pages in a minute. And make sure you set up a calendar reminder to update your existing content every 180 days. But nothing feels worse than creating content that's interesting, perfectly designed, beautiful, literally perfect, and then nobody sees it. So that's why we have to talk about the hardest part of SEO. Step number 4 is link building. And let me expose the secrets behind it. Plus, I'll show you the Goldilocks method to getting backlinks fast. Now, when I tell my family back home that I have a company of over 50 people building hyperlinks on the interwebs, they look at me like an alien. But backlinks, the clickable text from one website to another, are crucial. And the best SEOs in the world know this. Here's why. 65% of marketers say link building is the hardest part of SEO. 94% of the world's content gets 0 external links, and 73.6% of statistics are false. But Google any website and you'll see the sites with the most backlinks always rank. Let's try it right now. For example, how to write SEO. The top ranking results have the most backlinks. In fact, the legend himself, Backlinko, analyzed 11.8 million Google search results, and what did he find? The number 1 result on Google has an average of 3.8 times more backlinks than positions number 2 to 10. So, no backlinks equals no SEO traffic equals no moolah generated from the site you created. Now here's the secret the SEO industry won't tell you. Everyone thinks link building is hard. They're wrong. Okay, it's easy, and now I'm going to expose how most link building agencies do this in 3 simple steps. Number 1, simply email the top sites in your industry asking for a backlink, and they'll reply saying, sure, we can do that, but you need to pay about $20 or $50. You pay the bribe, and voila, you start getting links to your site. But how many backlinks do you actually need? Well, you've got to get into the Goldilocks zone. Pun intended, right? Let me explain. Too many backlinks to a new site and it doesn't look natural to Google, but too few and you just won't rank. So here's an easy way to figure out how many backlinks you need for each. Just type your keyword into Ahrefs, then scroll down to the list of competitors ranking for this keyword. And to get the magic number of backlinks you need, average out the total domains figure from the list and aim to build around 20% more. Easy like a Sontag Morgan. But all of this is totally meaningless until you start focusing on the next stage. Stage number 5 is revenue streams. And at this point, it's all about the Benjamins, because the better you are at monetizing your site, the more money you'll make. Most people don't know this, but the top 10% of companies get 3 to 5 times higher conversion rates than average. And here's a nightmare SEO situation that happens all the time. So you jump into a niche, you get tons of traffic, you're living the bloody dream, getting crazy dopamine hits every time you open Google Analytics. In fact, you're thinking about buying an SEO Lambo, except you don't know how to monetize your site properly, meaning you make 5 times less than you should be. Why? Because most people don't understand this simple concept. Traffic is vanity, and cash flow is sanity. Like a tube of old toothpaste, your job is to squeeze the money out of every website visitor you get. And if you monetize with ads like MediaDivine, you need a ton of volume. But if you have a service-based business, or you're an affiliate to one, you need way less traffic to earn the same amount of money. Just realize it does not matter how much traffic you get, it's how you turn that traffic into money. And one last but crucial point here. Don't use Amazon's affiliate scheme. Why? It's easy to set up, your commissions will get destroyed. When you look at Amazon's commissions over the years, it's absolutely brutal. They've dropped from 9.25% in 2010 to nearly a third of that at 3.14% in early 2020. And that brings me on to my next point. It's time to diversify. By this point, you're getting traction with SEO. Happy days. But never rely on one traffic source. It's too risky. You see this with e-commerce sites a lot, right? So Facebook blocks your ads account without any warning, the sales drop overnight, and their business falls apart until they figure it out. But you're smarter than that. So here's what you're gonna do. Build up an email list, set up a Facebook group, set up a YouTube channel, and test running ads to your review pages. But that's a lot of work, so here's an easier way. Build out each one of these channels step by step, mastering one channel at once, and then set up the next. And now, you will get to the final stage, which is authority mode. And that means every time you hit publish, your content ranks within hours. So now it's time to scale like a maniac. And that means more content, broader topics, more writers, more backlinks, and obviously more revenue for you. As Albert Einstein said, the most powerful force in the universe is compound interest. So keep building on the momentum and growing your site's rankings, because no one realizes this, but I found that it's far easier to go from $1,000 to $10,000 per month than it is to go from 0 to 1,000. This is the power of compounding results. So now you know how to build an SEO website, make it profitable, and avoid the mistakes 99% of SEOs make. Thanks for watching.